this ladybug. He's totally flying on me. He wants to be my little friend. Oh, there he goes. Oh, he comes back. He's flying on me again. Hey guys, so I'm in my backyard and I'm earthing. Been trying earthing lately. If you go over to Gaia, there's a documentary on earthing. And it's really good. It's very informative. So I thought I would try it out. I always liked putting my feet on the ground, and I've done a little bit of it in the past, but just watching the video brought it to a whole nother level of understanding. So I'm really trying to make an effort to get out here at least once a day and just to really lay down on the ground, and also just to go barefoot on my grass. I wanted to come on here and I wanted to talk about a disease, something I've identified as a disease and termed, and I would say it is one of the most virulent diseases around. And you know, if you think of it of a disease as dis-ease, when you're not at ease. And this disease, I think, is just rampant. And most people have it. Most people have had it. Some people have overcome it. But it's a pretty serious one. And what it does is it pretty much invades your entire life. And it can wreak all kinds of havoc. It can cause you to not be able to hear your intuition. It can cause you to feel depressed. It can cause a lot of jealousy and competitiveness. And it can really just lead to a very unhappy life. And it's a disease I've had for years, and that I have been, I would say, has gone into remission many times, but rears its ugly head every once in a while. And I have to reevaluate and rebalance myself out. So I've termed it, this is my term for this disease, and I call it Not-Enoughism. It's one of those diseases that invades every aspect of your life. It invades how you feel about yourself. It invades your relationships. It invades your ability to be able to enjoy what you have. It invades everything. What it's made up of is this idea that we're not enough, and that if we're not enough, we have no value. And if we have no value, then we are not going to be loved. We're not going to be accepted and loved. And if we're not accepted and loved, we are going to die. We are going to perish because we have a deep belief grained down into our DNA that we have to have the tribe to survive. And in many ways that's true. I mean, we wouldn't be able to have our society function as it functions if we wouldn't be able to enjoy the things we enjoy if we didn't have other people working components in our society. If we didn't have people who farmed, people who stocked stores, people who laid plumbing, built homes, built pools, gosh, so many different things that we wouldn't be able to enjoy. Built cars, roads, made laws for roads, made laws to keep people safe. If we didn't have people who did these things, we wouldn't be able to enjoy the comforts that we enjoy in our society. So in a lot of ways, we are dependent on one another to have what we have. And we're in this society where it's built this way that if you don't believe you're pleasing other people, then you're going to be rejected and you're going to be ostracized. So my therapist once told me about, horses in the wild, and if one of the horses isn't cooperating, doing what the other horses want it to do, then they will ostracize it. They'll push it out of their company, and that horse won't survive on its own. It needs the pack to survive. And she was pointing out that that's a lot of times how people work with one another to get you to do what they want you to do. And so we're raised in this culture. We're basically conditioned by this culture that has taught us that if you don't please us, you're going to be ostracized. And if you're ostracized, you are not going to survive. And when you think about it as a child, you are helpless. You come in here into this world, unless you have somebody that feeds you and clothes you and bathes you, and you have to learn everything. You have to learn how to use the restroom, how to eat, how to walk. And if you don't have help along the way, you won't survive. You've got to have caretakers. And so a lot of us have these caretakers that are narcissistic. We live in a very narcissistic world that's run by narcissism. So what it comes down to is that we become almost subservient to our culture and obsessive with pleasing people. We become people pleasers, and we don't realize that we feel like we're not going to be, and we rebel against it and such. But bottom line is, even in our rebellion, we're hoping that there is somebody that we're pleasing. If in our rebellion we were completely 100% alone, and 100%, 99% of the people out there were, other than you, didn't like you, you would probably resort to suicide or trying to please them again, or, you wouldn't want to, it would be hard. It would be hard to survive in that. My legs are really hot under the sun. I'm thinking I might need to move to the shade. I was trying to get a little bit of suntan too while I was out here. So I just want to talk about this Not-Enoughism, because I believe it's a disease now, because I think we are at a place in our evolution where a lot of us there is cooperation, but I don't think it needs to be to a point where we have to compromise our beliefs. We have to compromise what we know and understand, and how our perceptions, our understanding, our truth, our truth. And we have to compromise that. I don't think we need to compromise that in our society anymore. Matter of fact, I think it's very counterproductive, and it becomes a dis-ease when we do. Even right now, me doing this video, I'm just, normally when I want to do a video, I feel like I've got to be super inspired, and I need to go and do my makeup and do my hair and wear something nice and set the lighting up and get everything set up and say everything just right and have bullet points and be super interesting. And then I do all that stuff, and I get 2 or 3 likes, 5 likes, whatever. And, I have a few people that tell me, oh, I really loved your video and it was so helpful. But, I don't have a huge following. And so that little nasty bug that's in there in my subconscious mind of Not-Enoughism tries to creep up again and kind of invade my life. You're not enough. you're not pretty enough, your nose is too crooked, you have freckles, you're old, you're not healthy enough, you're not sexy enough, you're not smart enough, you're not rich enough, you don't have enough. It's not enoughism. And it's an ugly, icky disease. And I've been thinking on this, and when I work with my clients and I see this not enoughism in them, I see it working on them. They go over their past and how they weren't enough then, and how they're not enough now, and how they don't believe they're going to be enough in the future, and it invades their whole life and their ability to enjoy life and be in the moment and to just be in this life. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about our worth. Okay, so when you have a baby, and I've said this before, and you hold that little brand new baby in your arms, you don't look at that baby and say, oh, I just love you so much, I'm so happy, and this moment is so great, but I just hope that you end up performing for me so well, because I'd hate to see you not be enough and me have to discard you. And we don't think that. Not a mother doesn't think that. We are in love with that child just by virtue of it being a new, fresh little life that we get to love and nurture. And we're all valuable. And just because we grew up and are no longer that little baby anymore doesn't mean we lost that value, that we're less valuable now. We're just as valuable as we ever were. Matter of fact, we may be a little even more valuable, because we have a wisdom that we've gained from living through this world, and this world is not easy to navigate and to really figure out, And so I feel like for me, here's how I have some of the things that have worked for me to help me with this not enoughism. And one is just refusing to allow that little voice to control me anymore. So like saying, oh, you can't go out and do a video right now. You're not dressed the right way. You don't look right. You don't feel the way you should be feeling, or you don't have the perfect thought process to go out, and you're not going to help anybody. You're not going to do anything. Nobody cares. Blah, 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 blah. Not to let that control me any longer. It's my video, my channel, my thoughts. It's not about the likes. It's just about sharing. So that's the first thing. It's just refusing, when I see it cropping its ugly head and trying to control me and what I do and how I do things and dictate to me, to just go, you know what? Just do what I feel like doing. Talk about what I feel like talking about. I want to make videos. I want to open conversations. I want to help people know that they're not alone, that they're loved, that they're valuable, that life is worth living. I want to do my part to help in that. The other thing that I was thinking about that helps with this is Not-Enoughism, is meditating. So clearing my mind out of all thought, earthing, touching Mother Earth. One thing is, because I feel like with not enough kids, young kids don't have this disease until they catch it. It's caught. It's from being exposed to other people that believe in or are infected with Not-Enoughism. And the more that, prominent it is, the stronger it is in their environment, the quicker that they get exposed to it and start getting it. But young kids, even when they have a little bit of it, they don't have it a lot. It's not predominant in their life yet when they're really young. And so many of us wish we could tap into the energy and the excitement of a child's perspective. So one of the ways I've found that I can tap into it is by earthing. by being out here, like touching the grass right now, looking at it, seeing it, looking at the patterns. And one important way that I found that I can do it is if I go out, lay on the grass on my back under some trees, and just lay there and look up in the sky and at the trees and just listen to nature, and do it alone. It's better done alone because the presence of other people is distracting. But when I do that, I swear I tap into where I was when I came into this world. Everything is alive, and I think it's because I'm looking at the world from a different perspective because I'm on my back. So I'm not looking at it from a place of, you're already oriented and you already have expectations and what's here and what's there. But when you're on your back and you're looking up in the trees, you're not oriented to that yet. And so you're looking at it through fresh eyes. It's really interesting because you tap into what it feels like to really be alive and to not have not-enoughism there or thoughts or all these other things working. You just be in the moment. See, not-enoughism is about belief and thought processes. It's not about being in the moment. When you're in the moment and just living in the moment, you're not really thinking about whether you're enough or not enough. You're just focused on textures and color and sounds and how you feel and how the wind feels through your hair and the heat feels on the back of your legs, like right now. So that's a really good practice. Like every day, if you could get outside and just lay on the grass when the weather permitting. And when the weather's not permitting, how can you go outside in the rain even? Or even do it in your house. How can you look at the world? Like even getting on the floor, literally. Sometimes getting down on the floor and looking at the world from a different perspective, or getting up high somewhere, like up on a ladder, up on the roof, or getting where you see things from a completely different angle. And just sitting there and looking. Nothing else, just looking. It's really interesting, and it does take you out of that energy of not-enoughism. So again, it's not allowing it, like recognizing it when it's working and not allowing it to dictate my behavior. So it's going to speak, it's going to rear its ugly head because it's in there. It's in the psyche, that little bug of not-enoughism. And it's going to go, not enough, not enough, not enough. You're just not quite enough. Better not do that. Better not go there. Better not say that. Better not see it that way. Better not think that way. Better not enjoy that. Better not do that. Because you're not enough. What you gotta do is squash that little voice and say, you're an interesting little bug, but you know what? I am not gonna let you dictate what I do and say. I'm going to let what I want to do and say, and the fact that I have value. Just by virtue of being, I am valuable. I'm going to let that guide me and lead me, and know that it's okay to have my voice. It's okay to have my opinion. It's okay to have my perspective. Matter of fact, it's needed. All of us are needed. All of our perspectives are needed. We learn from each other. I always say we are all teachers and we are all students all the time. All of us. Even my dog. I learn from my dog sometimes, and he learns from me. We are all teachers and we are all students all the time. We're learning from one another. And I don't think we should ever devalue any life form, any human, no matter how stupid. So many people say, oh, stupid people, everybody's stupid people. Well, remember, you're part of those people. You're part of that country, that town, that household, whatever, of people that you call stupid. You're in there too. And when you're calling somebody else stupid, it's like Christ said, as you do to any of these, the least of these, you're doing it to me. You're doing the same thing. You're doing it to us all. Because as I am in you, you are in me, and we are in God, and we're all of one. We're all of one source. And so if you're going to call something stupid, you're putting stupid out there. You're including yourself. But no matter what, no matter how stupid some things seem, because some things do seem really stupid. Don't make any sense at all. It doesn't mean that life has no value. It doesn't mean they don't have anything to teach. Or that we don't have anything to learn from them. Or that we don't have anything to teach them. We are all teachers, and we are all students all the time. So I really wanted just to bring out this little disease of Not-Enoughism. Just to kind of expose it and get you kind of thinking about it, and start to recognize the little bug in your own life when it comes buzzing around and tries to shut you up, put you down, close the door on you, keep you from doing something that you really want to do, keep you from making those friends, keep you from stepping out, being seen, because you might not be enough. It's just a little disease. And the way we overcome it is by not allowing it to dictate our actions. And by getting out in nature, touching Mama Earth. Because you know what? We're connected to her whether we realize it or not. We are very connected to Earth. And they now have tests and studies. They have machines that show the electrical magnetic field that comes out of Mama Earth, and it goes up and through our feet, and how shoes are preventing us from connecting, and how it's so healthy to get down. It can actually, I think like 70%, it can bring down inflammation in your body, and it's believed that inflammation is the core of all disease. So it can bring down inflammation quite a bit. It can bring down blood pressure. And more than anything, it just can help you come alive. Like even just sitting here, I've noticed all these little tiny bugs, their own little world, how that little blade of grass just looks like a forest to them. Climbing up and down it. I hear the birds. I hear my dog coming over. I think he's decided to go lay down. And what's interesting about my dog is if I come out here without a towel to lay on, he'll bug me and bug me and bug me and run around me and try to wrestle with me. And he's so big, it's like, but if I put a towel or a mat or a yoga mat or something, then he knows, okay, she's doing her thing. Leave her alone. It's really funny. Anyhow, so I just want to leave you with that, to think about that Not-Enoughism bug and how it might be working in your life, and how you can, if you've recognized it, if you get what I'm saying, give me a thumbs up and subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know how you overcome the dis-ease of Not-Enoughism. How do you overcome it so that you can go and live life free? Have a good day.